let me start by saying that Ryll's been with us now for almost 3 years. She came into our business during that very difficult COVID phase. And what she was brilliant is making sure that we maintained our North Star, because COVID was a very difficult time for a lot of businesses. We were under a lot of financial pressure. We were under a lot of our people and culture. A portfolio was obviously being challenged. A lot of people were working from home, and Ryll was brilliant at helping us navigate our way through very difficult COVID waters, if you like. Well, difficult waters per se, that all businesses across Australia were suffering from. So for that, we were very blessed to have Ryll on board. I think the most powerful thing about what Ryll was able to do for us during that time was to keep us focused on the solution. And she often said, never waste a good crisis. So how do we pivot? How do we tack? How do we get an outcome from the challenge that we're being faced? It's the new normal. It's not unique to us. It's happening to everybody. So how do we not survive? How do we thrive through those difficult times? So that was really important. Her leadership and her guidance really steadied the ship, and she became that sounding board that I think all business owners need when they're not sure. You want to trust your gut, but the consequences are far greater than you can handle. So you also want to be able to take that intuition, marry it up with the data, be challenged by your assumptions, and have someone really look at it critically, and turn around and say, yeah, you know what, I think we're on the right path. I think we got this covered. And I think we've looked at everything. And that third-party principle, that third-party advocacy for what we stood for as a business, and that person that was there to constantly remind us, say, hey, remember what we're solving for. Because when you're in the thick of it, sometimes you can lose sight of that. Was extremely, extremely powerful. And so what happened with our business post-COVID is we actually grew. As a result, our employee survey as an employer had never been higher, and which is really bizarre because people were suffering in all sectors, in all businesses, and our people were having a great experience. And we grew, our staff numbers grew, our turnover grew during COVID. So when businesses were shrinking and we're retracting, we were investing. And they're all first principles, business 101 type approach. You invest in a business in the trough of a cycle.
Yeah.
So you can ride the wave up. You can invest at the peak and then try and continue to innovate and grow. But definitely don't shrink in the trough. Double down in the trough and trust your gut, trust your business plan, trust the market that you're in. Maintain your staff cohesion, maintain the A players and the B players, and grow them and invest in them. And what's happened since, I think when Ryll joined us, or around an $80 million turnover business, we will turn over $300 million this financial year. A business owner faces are the business owners themselves. I know for myself, a business is just a thing. And it's capped by my capability. It's capped by my lid, if you like, or where I cap out is where generally the businesses will cap out. And so another powerful thing that Ryll's been able to provide for us has been the numbers, absolutely, strategy, absolutely, marketing, brand, HR, admin, all processes, all necessary. And they will all reach a limit based on my capacity and capability. And so another big part of what Ryll's been able to do for me is to make me better. better as a leader, better as an operator. I've got my business partner, so a better co-founder, creating an environment where we can create momentum and growth without exhausting others, creating an environment that's inspiring, that is vision-centric, that talks to then the results, bringing that hustle, bringing that that no slippage approach. It all starts with the leaders of the business. It all starts with the business owners. And so learning how to be a better leader through the programs that Ryll's been able to facilitate and provide, through the one-on-one mentorship, has been really powerful. Real powerful distinctions that have resulted in some significant breakthroughs, not just for the business, but for me. All right. And then when I'm better and when I'm growing, it gives permission for others to grow and for others to reach out above and beyond. And it's incumbent on us as leaders and as business owners, and it's been incumbent on me with the team that's in my direct influence to create the environment that allows that to happen. And sometimes we think we're doing it, but we're not. Like, we're snuffing it out. We're snuffing the energy out of it because you want to control everything. Like, you want to get in there and say, right, how do we do this? And you're holding it so tightly that no one can move, or no one can innovate, or no one can create, when really all that's required is for you to let go and give them the permission that they need. And that takes a lot of courage, and it takes a real level of leadership that you kind of have, or you think you have, and you don't realize what you're doing not as well as what you'd like until a third party's in the room saying, hey, that's not quite right. Like, this is the how. All right, this is the what. This is what we're going to do to that these teams really thrive and let them grow and let them create something special for the business. You know, otherwise we wouldn't be able to get to 300 mil. And, you know, we want to get to 500 mil. Like, we actually want to play $1 billion game. You know, Ryll's been instrumental in that guidance, that dialing into your intuition and letting people go out and create something special for us. It's been very powerful. I'll never forget, not last Christmas, the Christmas before, I had to make a little distinction. I was a little bit stuck on some stuff. And we had I think it was a Boxing Day meeting. And I said to her, look, don't worry about it. You know, look, we're busy, because the meeting was scheduled for before that. And I just didn't have time, and end of year and everyone's going away. And she said, no, we'll do it in Boxing Day. I said, you know, I feel bad. I feel bad for you, Ryll. Like, don't worry, it's a holiday. We'll do it in January. She said, no. We'll still have the meeting. And I had my one-on-one with her. And she gave me a little shift that changed everything. She said to me, I don't want you to be a business owner anymore. I want you to think like you're a board. I want you to behave like you're at the board of a multi-billion-dollar business. Bring the passion, bring the commitment, bring the drive, bring that hustle that owners have. And don't be emotional about it. Be strategic. Don't get upset. Get intentional. So the biggest distinction that Ryll gave me in that meeting that changed my whole trajectory was, you really got to step up and be the board. Strategic thinker now, not just the owner. Owner's great, but what's required of you to go that next level is more. And you're capable of more, and you need to be more. And that changed a lot for me in my business. And it changed a lot for me also personally, like at home. Now I've got 4 kids, and it's amazing how even the strategies that I talk about in my business, I take home. You know, and Ryll always says, the number 1 test of leadership is being a parent. The second test is go to lead a not-for-profit organization full of volunteers for no money. And they're very powerful distinctions, because people in your business will listen to you because you pay them. Volunteers will be like, well, hold on, don't know if I agree with that. And so what do? We went and joined, we're parents, I'm a parent already, and I went and joined a couple of not-for-profit boards that I don't get paid for. And the dynamic of your leadership needs to shift for you to be a servant leader and to be elegant about it. And Ryll's been able to give me the tools and tactics that has allowed me to do that, which I'm very grateful for and very blessed for, because it's changed my life, and it's changed our business. It's changed everything. And it gets really hard for them to take that leap of faith. It takes a lot of courage. But my advice personally to anyone, like yourself, you're in the grind, but you have to make choices, and it's hard enough to do it, let alone do it alone. Having the right people in your corner is critical for success. Like every day in business is like, one time Mark Burris put a LinkedIn post, I can't remember what it was now, and he said, describe business ownership in one word. And I wrote, gladiators. Because if every day feels like it's going to be tough, right? And you get your good days, right? You absolutely get days that are like clockwork, perfect, everything went right, but that's not by chance. That's the result of all of the hard work that you've put in every other day. Right? You earned the right then to have a good day. You put the processes in place, and you nurtured the team, and you invested. And when you didn't have anything, you put it all on the line. That gives you the permission to have the good days. Right? And like anything, right? But I think boxing is the most powerful sport, because it's probably one of the sports where the work that you've been doing outside of the ring, it shows up for you on that day, and there's nowhere to hide. But every round, you go back to your corner and you got your team. And the most powerful thing about Ryll is she's in your corner, and you feel it. You feel her presence in your corner. And you need it, because it's tough. You need the Rylls of the world in your corner so you can go out and box that next round.
And so when you think about, okay, so who is the $1 billion leader? Who is the $1 billion version of you? Do you feel like you are him now?
I play a little game every time I walk into a room. And I say to myself, I'm going to put on my $1 billion coat now, especially if I know it's going to be a tough meeting. So, because the energy of a billionaire is so light, and it's so elegant, because you're with billions. So nothing you can say can really dampen my mood today, because I'm a billionaire. And so it's not about the money at that point. Right? It's not about saying, it's about your way of being.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think most days I am that person. I think most days I am that person, and I always test it with Ryll, to be honest. Particularly after meetings that she's in, I say, how was that? And she gives me pointers, which I love. But getting that validation, that third-party validation from someone that's observing your behavior, is really powerful. I would say that most days, maybe 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, that's the energy I bring to our business. That's the energy I bring to my life. The discipline, the commitment, the passion, with my children, with my family, in my business. And it's all entwined.
If you could summarize the biggest, most meaningful, most impactful thing that Ryll has helped you and your business achieve in the time that you've been working with her, what do you think that would be?
Oh, wow. Biggest, most impactful thing. I would say, oh, that's such a good question because there's been so many things to choose one. I have to say that Ryll's been instrumental in empowering me to have powerful conversations that allow me to play the billion-dollar game. It hasn't been a specific strategy or a spreadsheet. It's a way of being, which is much bigger than a strategy or a spreadsheet because it becomes ingrained in everything that I do. So I don't think it's a singular moment or an action or an event. And there's been many of those. I think ultimately it's been what she's been able to give me. And the conversations, the empowerment that I needed to be the leader that can step into a billion-dollar game. And then you can create strategy from that place. Then you create momentum from that place. She fights for you. She fights for what you want. And that's invaluable.
If you could say anything to someone who might be on the fence about working with Ryll, what would it be?
They're on the fence about working with Ryll. In 3 months from now, you'll realize it was the best decision you ever made. I think that'll be the best thing for them. They have to take that step on their own. And in 3 months, they'll realize that it was the best thing they ever did.